Hey everybody, this is On Screen, Off Screen, show where we like to look for and talk about the media intake we um, do each week and like how it impacts our lives. I think media takes a very big role, so hopefully this makes your guys' lives a little bit better. Um, this is the third episode this week, and Conlon, let's get started with your first topic.
Okay, I'm actually just gonna knock out both of them. One of them is gonna be pretty short, and I'll go a little bit more in depth than the other. Um, Short one: Supercell on Superheroes Book Two. I said the first one had some problems, but I was gonna give the second book a try. The biggest problems with the book is you have the typical lit RPG thing, where all of the girls are kind of one dimensional and they're just hot and they're obsessed with the main character for whatever reason. It happens with anime too, and it drives me nuts in all of them. Like, you don't want to be around somebody who's just obsessed with you all the time just because they're obsessed with you. It's not an enjoyable characteristic. And this doesn't solve it with book two. They still do some interesting stuff. They develop the characters some more. They give them some cool powers. They adapt the powers in interesting ways. And there's a person who can open up gates, and they accidentally open up a gate to a different world by the voices that are guiding our main character. And that releases gods back into the world. Apparently, there's been a god who is trying to get back, and that's why he has these powers and why he's been influenced throughout the first book and the second book to get to where we are. I like all of that. And if the characters were better, I would continue with this series, but they're not. And it makes it so, like, yes, you have some interesting gods, you have an interesting new world, you have interesting powers. The power set of being able to change somebody's basically like character sheet is really cool. Like, it's a cool idea and it's applied really well. But I just want more characters that I'm really invested in. And I'm not invested in these characters, unfortunately. I could see somebody liking this story. I can understand why it's rated as well as it is. I just don't think I'm gonna go any further with it.
And
Um,
this is book two that you just read.
yeah, it's book two that I just read.
And
Which
how many are there in the series?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I want to say six. Let me look really quick.
Oof. If it's
The RPGs can go forever.
yeah.
It is done. It looks like that's cool. A lot of these go on for too long and don't actually get done. There are six. There are six
Nice.
books. But like the first book has 7,000 ratings with a 4.2. That's pretty decent for a small indie type publisher.
Yeah.
But even the covers, you can just tell it's one of these kind of books because it's some hot girl wearing leather armor. Like that's the cover of the book, and it's too bad so many lit RPGs fall into that trap because it gives a bad name to the genre as a whole. It keeps people from getting into it as much when there are so many cool, interesting ideas, and it doesn't just have to be the fantasy of having like your harem. Like, it's just
Yeah.
I'm not into that. I don't. That's
Yeah. It sounds like, especially with lit RPGs, it's kind of hard to marry the characters with the world because I know so many friends who want to start writing, and it's because they've played D&D, and it's they have a uh, world idea, but they don't have the characters set, or they have like one character idea and then they want to like shove it into this world, and but they haven't really thought up of the world. So it just sounds like this is somebody who had a really good idea for a world but not for characters.
yeah, absolutely. And a
Mm.
cool power set. Like, there's another lit RPG that I absolutely love, and the characters are kind of weak. But his superhero is that he can do basically a save, and he can save scum in his own life. So he can save back, and then if he thinks he's gonna die, he can just go back to that previous save. Really cool idea. Very, very well done. But the other side characters don't elevate the story enough. So you have this.
Mm.
The main character carries the story, and it's good enough. But if the side characters were even half the level of this main character, that series would be on my recommend list completely. This one just, the main character is not good enough to also carry the story, with the side characters being fairly weak.
That's too bad.
Yeah. But anyway, on my recommend list, the Completionist Chronicles is always on my recommend list every single time. I freaking love this story. If I had a cozy book type story, this is it. I have re-listened to these dozens of times, and this is, I don't know why I put, is it book 12? It must be book 12. Book 12, it's called Untapped. The story of the Completionist Chronicles is, you've got this character, his name's Joe, and he's in the military, and he gets hit by an IUD, and it paralyzes him. He is completely paralyzed. His mom has to take care of him, like wipe his butt, the whole 9 yards. He's completely inept at this point. And he gets this opportunity through a friend to go into a digital life. And he leaves his body and goes into this digital world. And he finds out the digital world is a little bit more than you thought it was. There's this series called Divine Dungeon, written by the same author. And you find out that in the Divine Dungeon, the main character is the dungeon. And it grows in power, gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you find out that the Completionist Chronicles, Joe goes into this dungeon. Well, throughout the series, an apocalypse happens on Earth, and everyone leaves Earth to go into this digital world inside of this dungeon. So it makes it so the stakes feel a little bit more impactful, because everyone is living this new life. There isn't an Earth world and this new life. It's a new life. And Joe grows, and because he's one of the first people in this new world, he has a leg up on everybody else that comes in. He has the ability to go a little bit ahead. And through events, he has to proceed faster than other people in an authentic way. The story is funny. The main character is really good. The side characters are really good. The world is super interesting. I love the fact that he gets to the point where there's different planets that he's on, and each planet has different things going on. And Dakota Kraut, the author, obviously has paid attention to what is happening on each world as he's in different places. Because events will change, characters will change as time passes, and he does a really good job with that. This is middle grade lit RPG. That is what I would call this. There's a little bit of romance going on now, but at the beginning there's not really that much of that. It's just a good story with good characters that is very middle grade reading-esque. Everything about it is middle grade reading. It is a story that I think you would like a lot, Josh. Other than they have a few puns in that might bug you. But you would like the characters, you would like the world. I think you would like the way that the character develops. The power system is really cool. It's fantastic. I found out that Untapped dropped this week, and immediately everything that was on my list, 12 Angry Men, everything, got pushed to the side because I absolutely love this series. When I'm working outside, I will put this series on. When I'm playing video games, I will put this series on. It is the How I Met Your Mother of book series to me. It's just fun. And if you want something that's just a fun, good read, it's just highly enjoyable. And I would recommend everybody gives this book series a try. I don't necessarily know that you will love it. If you don't like lit RPGs, you're not going to like it. But it's worth giving a try.
What's the name of the series again?
The Completionist Chronicles.
And I kind of like, because I love Dungeon Crawler Carl, so now I'm just kind of basing my, if I like the lit RPG to that, basing it off of that. How do you say it compares to Dungeon Crawler Carl?
Dungeon Crawler Carl is the best lit RPG. It just is. This one is simpler. Like, the characters are more complex in Dungeon Crawler Carl, but the application of powers is very comparable. The audiobook is also extremely well done. There's just not a lot of weaknesses, but it's simpler. It's more middle grade, where I would say Dungeon Crawler Carl is more high school. That's a good way of putting it.
And then to go with that, like Dungeon Crawler Carl swears a lot. Does this series swear a lot, or is it like middle school?
It is a middle grade lit RPG. It's very
Okay.
clean. Um, there's a part where he meets a girl and he's flirting with her. Her name's Daniela, but it's such a small part of the book. It's mostly just a guy going on some great adventures and getting to learn cool stuff in a new world. Like that's the series.
All right. I might put that because I have like 12 hours that I need to fill each day at work. So
Yeah,
might put that on the list.
put that one on the list. And if you like that one, I have another high recommendation. It's like my top three lit RPGs.
All right.
What
Very
is it?
good.
A New Era Online. It's it's a base builder kind of lit RPG. That one does have a relationship, and as far as relationships in lit RPGs, it is by miles the best one.
So where does
Uh,
Primal Hunter fall on this list?
it's that's in my top four. I don't know. It's those four.
It's up there.
It's those
So
four that are my favorite.
so why did you have me go to Primal Hunter and not Completionist Chronicles or
I just thought you would
Online?
really get into Primal Hunter. Primal Hunter is like this is a badass fighter anime style type thing. Completionist Chronicles is middle grade reading. New Era Online is base builder and relationship, kind of like action with Sims. Sort of is a good way to sort of say it. Um,
Okay, so you just told Lauren to listen to New Era Online, not this one.
both of them are good. Like listen to either of them. Primal Hunter, they're all good. All of those are good. All of those are good time. And I would recommend any of those four. And I've read a lot of lit RPGs, like way
Yeah.
too many, a lot.
You are the expert of the trio.
I've read way too many. And then I meet some people. I've gone to some lit RPG kind conventions. I went and met Matt Dinneman and Dakota Kraut. They did a dinner where you watch jousting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did one of those in Georgia, and I got to go there, and I met a lot of big lit RPG authors that I've talked to before. I met the New Era Online guy, um, and I felt like I was a noob because I didn't know the 12,000 lit RPGs that are out there, and I've read a lot. There's so many of them constantly coming out, and you get a handful that are truly great, and these four, in my opinion, are great.
All right. What would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Supercell and Superheroes gets a 6. I just don't think it's worth the time, but it's not terrible. Completionist Chronicles to me is like I have a hard time rating it. My enjoyment level of this book series is like a 10. The negative of Completionist Chronicles, I think he does a good job of making the main character have to work really hard to achieve what he achieves. That feels very earned, but there are times in the story where it's like this needs to happen for my story to progress, and so this happens for my story to progress. And I think that's the biggest negative of the book series. Enjoyment a 10, actual solid score 8.5, probably right around there. 8, somewhere like
The whole
that.
series or just the 12th book?
The whole series.
Okay,
The
what about
12th
just the
book,
book?
oh, 8. 8, I'd give it 8. It's really good. There's one part of the story where it's like this needs to happen, so it was convenient, but it's still highly enjoyable. It's a really good book.
Nice. Okay. All right. With that, Lauren, what do you have for us?
This is my video game that I've been playing a lot with friends called REPO. I'm sure a lot of people have played it before. So this game is you're a robot and you're going into these areas and you're basically just getting these trinkets and bringing back and like to sell them. And you have to get a certain amount of money each area. And I got on with a couple of friends yesterday, and I'm pretty sure one of them will never play with me again because I was there for a silly, goofy time. And I play Repo because I think it's funny when you die. And he was there to try to get to like the highest level we could. And like, this is a game that you're eventually just gonna die. There's no end. You just sometimes will try to get as far as you can. Um, but I had finally gotten on with a lot of people that I haven't been able to get on with a lot recently. And something about this game is like you have a proximity mic. So if somebody is running around, you slowly hear them go out until you can't hear them anymore. And one of my friends was like telling his husband, he's like, look, you can't be vocal stimming because some of these monsters can hear you and will actually kill you if they hear you. So there's one that we call Shooty Man because he shoots you if he hears you. And um, I was blasting music on my mic. Everybody was like running away from me because I was just bopping to my music, which was from Demon Hunters. K-pop Demon Hunters was what I was blasting. And yeah, it's just there's so many opportunities for just silly shenanigans to happen. Like something that happened um, was you can pick up this potion. It's like this little heart potion, and it'll start making your robot say that you love whatever is next to them. And then there's other things that will morph your voice. Uh, so we just discovered a new item that you can find that looks like a mini version of you, and when you grab it, it makes your voice really high. And so like I grabbed it and started singing um the hamster song. Don't know if you guys know what that is. So I'm pretty sure everybody wanted to murder me when I grabbed that and I was running it towards the cart. Um, yeah, I died so many times last night, but I just had a blast. Uh, and they were like, "Oh, there is a hole right there, Lauren. Don't go towards it." And I like looked down the hole. I was like, "I think there's something down there." Immediately falls down and dies after they just resurrected me, which was fine because then I would just be in the ghost chat by myself listening to my music. But yeah, it's just a really silly, goofy game. Uh, like, I just like games that you don't have to take yourself seriously and you just have a funny, goofy time. And these, I forgot about this one thing. So, like, you can you can make yourself small and hide in cupboards. And I was hiding in a cupboard along with my friend, and uh, we had them shut, but his eyes were clipping through the wall. So you could just see his eyes into my cupboard. And I was laughing so hard that I called a monster over, and my other friend was walking by, and that monster killed my friend because it was getting lured by my voice. But
So, Lauren, Josh just added to the notes the hamster dance song, and I played a little bit of it, and I do know this, and I would have murdered you.
I know, it was great.
I would have killed you so fast. I would like get this stinking girl out of here. That's what dance song sucks.
I was on something last night. I don't know what, but I was having a great time. I don't think my one friend was, and I kind of feel bad, but
You just play the Gummy Bear song or Baby Shark over and over again along with this. Freaking murder you.
I just did one little clip of it that I was singing as I was taking it to the cart. But yeah, so I have it in my notes. If you want to make it far in repo, don't invite me because I think it's funny when we all die.
Nice.
So, what would you rate the game on a scale of 1 to 10?
I play it a lot, but like if you don't have the right group, like if you're just playing this by yourself, or like you're not playing with the right group who wants to have a silly, goofy time, I would say it's like a 6. But if you are there with people who want to just goof around and stuff, I would rate it as an 8.
Okay.
So
So how does this rate on like comparison to other co-op games? Because we've played quite a few.
co-ops, like in general,
Yeah.
or like, because like I would put Repo in the same boat as a Lethal Company, or like I would say this is a different co-op game than just co-op games in general.
How does this
Um,
compare to Lethal Company? Which one do you like better?
I like Repo better
Okay.
just because it's
Better.
I think it's like goofier. Whereas with Lethal Company, it's I actually do get scared playing Lethal Company, and I
Okay.
don't get scared with Repo because everything is just so there's not a lot of jump scares, but there's a lot of jump scares with Lethal Company. So I still love Lethal Company, and I'll play it with my brothers. It's really funny to play it with my brothers because my one brother is scared of um, a mimic, so it looks like one of your party members, and it will even have their tag above like their head, and it's not them, and it will come and kill you. And he's died by that so many times, and he's like, I have PTSD with this stupid monster. So it's really funny to play with him, and you can just like off in the distance. There was one time I was running to the ship and I heard him screaming, but it also had proximity mic, and so like I just hear like and it just goes silent because he died. And then when we get back on the ship and he respawns, it's like, oh my gosh, this and this and this happened. And I was like, yeah, I know, I heard you screaming. But we have to play that not late at night so that he doesn't startle his like 2-year-old daughter and his wife. So, but I do like Repo better for the goofs. I like Lethal Company more because I play with my brothers because I can't get my brothers to play Repo. So
Cool.
yeah.
So I've been doom scrolling looking for kind of a new show. I never knew this existed, but apparently there was a Nancy Drew show that was started in 2016. Um, I have played Nancy Drew games in the past. I think some of them are really, really great, actually. I think others really, really suck. Uh, I have read a couple of the books in the past, so I decided to give this a shot. It is a teen mystery show, generically, is how I would describe it. If you're really into these kinds of shows, you're going to be really, really into it. Um, I finished the first season, and I would say it is pretty good. The hard part about it for me was knowing Nancy Drew in the past. This is not that at all. However, it does respect it. So it takes Nancy Drew into her older age and is a much more mature tone than what is traditional Nancy Drew, as well as giving real ghosts. So there's actual real ghosts, which is a staple of Nancy Drew. It's not real ghosts, kind of like Scooby Doo. Um, but they take it into her future, so she's older. She has been hurt by some of the stuff that has happened in the past. They respect her previous history in that they don't just ignore that it happened. But it is kind of a little bit of a shock when I was expecting Nancy Drew, and I got sorry, what is that teen mystery show I was really into?
Outer Banks.
Yeah, like it's Outer Banks. However, I was looking at it, and unlike Outer Banks or any of these other shows, it looks like it actually gets better moving on.
Okay.
Like, usually these shows have like one season that's really good, and then they get greenlit for more seasons, and they're like, oh, I don't know, new mystery, bigger mystery. I don't really know what to do with this. And, we gotta keep going. Whereas this one, I looked at a ranking, and it was like the best season is season 4, the second best season is season 3, the third best season is season 2, and the worst season is season 1.
Wow.
Uh, that's not actually accurate. A lot of people say like the third season is the worst one, but all of them still rate it as like an 8 out of 10.
Very cool.
So I'm very interested to keep going with this one. Conlon, I want you to at least give the first 10 minutes of this show a shot.
Okay. My wife loves Nancy Drew. She'd probably be super down to watch this.
Okay. It is not Nancy Drew.
At all?
Like, my problem with this is that they call it Nancy Drew. I think it would be a bigger show if they had not called it Nancy Drew.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't...
She is Nancy Drew, and it's later in her life, and she's still solving mysteries. But the show starts off, and she's like so PTSD'd from all of her previous mysteries that she's given up on being a detective. And she's cynical, and honestly, quite a bit of a hoe.
Okay.
Like, it is not Nancy Drew. Like, if they had just not called it Nancy Drew, I think a lot more of the original fans would have been more into it. The other weird thing is, like, it started in 2016, but season 2 was like 2019, season 3 was 2021, and season 3 was 2023 or something like that. So there's weird gaps.
Okay.
So it looks like it was greenlit and then canceled and greenlit and then canceled and then greenlit and then canceled and then greenlit again. Or they just took a really long time to film each season. I don't know which one it is. I genuinely have no idea. But it took a weirdly long time to film 4 seasons. But the reason I call out the beginning sequence is it is great horror.
Okay.
Like, it is a great opening to a horror sequence. It's genuinely phenomenal. They do have a lot more horror elements and spooky ghost stuff happening throughout the show, even though it is kind of just a mystery thing. But the opening sequence, I was like, I'm sold. I'm so into this. This is great. And then she immediately starts being a hoe, and I'm like, well, this is Nancy Drew. What the heck is this? So you gotta kind of just like cast the Nancy Drewness aside and just enjoy it for what it is. And as soon as I did that, I enjoyed this show quite a bit.
Cool. So it sounds like you probably watch season 2?
Absolutely, I'll watch season 2. If it's only gonna get better, like right now I would give it like a 7 out of 10. Okay. But if it's only gonna get better from here, like, this is my kind of show. I got super into Outer Banks season 1.
You did.
I was so sold on it. Like, it was so good. And, like,
did you ever continue that show? Did you watch season 2?
I got like 3/4 of the way through it, and I was like, this has become such a convoluted mess. Or how many seasons are there?
I don't know. More than 2.
It might have been I got through season 2, 3. I don't remember. I remember just getting to the point where I was like, oh my gosh. This has gotten so convoluted and so dumb, and they kept re-upping the ante. And the problem with re-upping the ante and being like, well, this mystery is just a small mystery compared to the next mystery. And it's like, okay, but then you make your season 1 mystery that sold everybody on your show pointless.
Yeah.
That's what you did. And you start introducing all of these holes that you're like, okay, why did they go through the steps then? Because you could have just done the other thing this whole time.
So with the Nancy Drew, you're saying that it has actual paranormal
activity. Yes, there are actual ghosts. There are actual hauntings.
Okay, but there's still mysteries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's still investigating the death. She's specifically haunted by... So there's this girl who was killed in her town a long time ago. Very Nancy Drew intro. She's haunted by the ghost and has to figure out why. But in Nancy Drew, somebody is playing up the ghost, like in Scooby Doo. In this one, the actual ghost is haunting her to get her to solve her murder.
It's, I mean, have you ever seen the series Ghost? Where it's like a
No.
medium and ghosts come to her to like solve their problems and stuff. It's kind of what it's reminding me of. Um,
If you're talking about Ghost Whisperer,
Ghost
I've seen that
Whisperer,
one.
yep.
And it's not like that at all because that one's like a more serious show. This one's like a teen drama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one's
Like they're all 19. It's like, it's really formulaic. Introduce ditzy rich girl. Introduce smart girl who's our main character. Give her two love interests, and one is rich guy who's suave and intellectual thinking, and introduce mechanic boy who's poor but tough. And like honestly, that is the hardest part. Is like it is really generic to start, and there's like even an Asian girl, and guess what? Her mom is a medium, and she's all spiritual and stuff, so she has all the spirit knowledge. And the sheriff is Native American ancestry, so he's got a magic feather that takes everybody to the spirit world. Um, so yeah.
When you were introducing the two different types of guys, for some reason I thought you were going to be like, and this one's dead, but you don't know it yet. And I was like, that sounds awesome.
That would make it better, honestly. Um, the love interest thing is a hard part about the show.
pretty weak.
Because it's like the poor guy is black and he has a criminal record, and there's a whole part where she's like, but do I trust him? And like, she starts off the show by sleeping with him and literally saying to us viewers in narration that it's literally just hookups. And then you get halfway through season 1 and rich guy comes to her and she is like, be mine. And she's like, sorry, my heart belongs to a mechanic. Like, you literally you just told us like 3 hours ago that he meant nothing to you.
Hey, I'm pretty sure he also owns a Christmas tree farm, and it's going to be the best Hallmark movie ever.
Do you feel like the Nancy Drew girl plays the character well? Like, or is it not even Nancy Drew? Like, she doesn't even feel like the character outside of being a hoe.
She looks like the character, but like, she's Nancy Drew later on in life. You have to accept that.
Okay.
You have to accept that she's gone and solved these mysteries, but was actually damaged by them. You have to buy that that stuff was significant enough that she gave up becoming a detective.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, you really have to buy into that. Like, she's at a completely different phase in her life and is a new person. But like, they do mention stuff from the books and games.
That's cool.
Like, they will mention that stuff and pay homage to it. And like, that's the whole point, is like, this stuff that has happened to her has been so significantly traumatizing to her, she decided to go in a new direction in her life. And yeah, it's still a pretty good show. Like I said, I do think that the characters do some really good things. There are some really dumb things. The ditzy rich girl suddenly grows a brain in like episode 8. Like, she's just this ditzy white girl, and her whole purpose is to be like, explain that to me, I don't get it, so that they can
Explain it to the audience.
give the audience some information. And like in episode 8, she's like all of a sudden like, well, what if we did this? And it's like, you have not had a brain
You don't get ideas.
or cared about this situation forever. Where is this coming from? I really do hope this show does continue getting better, because like, if it does just get better and the characters just get better and they keep up the level of horror aspects and genuine mystery that I'm interested to solve, this is going to be a great show.
Cool. Cool. It sounds good, Ben. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. Give it a shot.
I really want to know what you think about the intro scene specifically, because that part to me, I was like, this is Conlon's show. He's in. He's gonna love it. Okay. And then it went into stuff, and I was like, okay, maybe not. But yeah, it's a great intro.
Cool.
Okay, with that, let's jump into our shared topic. We watched both the first and second live-action Scooby Doo movies, which is why I put Nancy Drew on this episode, because very fitting. Lauren, I would love to hear what you think of the first live-action Scooby Doo movie.
So this was the only Scooby Doo movie, Scooby Doo period, that my mom would let me watch. Don't know why she wouldn't let me watch any other Scooby Doo, but apparently this one was okay.
That is wild.
I know.
That makes no freaking sense. That is what?
So I love this one. Okay. But it also gave me nightmares because the crazy little CGI was so bad. But the CGI monsters, like I would have a dream. I had a reoccurring nightmare where I don't know why this was the thing, but like my stepdad would like poke my brother's stomach and my brother would like transform into that thing and like scream at us and then go back to being him, and I was like, that's terrifying. Anyway, that was my recurring nightmare brought on by this. But I also, is it Mr. Bean that's the bad guy? Well, actually it's Scrappy Doo or whatever. But yeah, I remember just loving it. Except I still will never understand how TSA let Scooby on the plane dressed.
This might have been pre-TSA.
Is it?
It was definitely
it's
made
2002,
pre-TSA.
So no.
Yeah.
Then yes, because they would have been filming and writing way before this. And this actually went through 10 years of writing and development.
Hey, if Lilo and Stitch can change a whole animated portion of their movie, they could have made Scooby more realistic on getting into the plane. But yeah, I remember loving when like Scooby and Shaggy got separated in like the haunted attraction and they had to like eat the plastic food and I mean I always cringe at the farting contest, but
it goes on a little too long.
Yeah, but I love, isn't it Matthew Lillard? That's yeah, I love Matthew Lillard. So yeah, I remember loving this movie, but it does not hold up watching it again. I definitely just liked it because I liked it as a kid. And it was my only Scooby-Doo that I was allowed.
Okay, so what would you rate it now on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'd probably say 7 because I'll probably still watch it again.
Okay. This is the one of the two that was the most memorable to me. I actually thought this was the second one, just like I thought the second one was the one where they go to the island. So I remember the ATV scene like vividly from when I was a kid. That was like a huge thing. And the girl making all the faces at Scooby while they're doing it. I loved this as a kid, and I loved watching it now. There's the intro scene, and you look at it with that ghost, and you think, why does all the CGI look so much worse than that ghost throughout the whole movie? And it's actually because that was the original antagonist of the movie. So they put a lot of work into that and made that look really good. And then through all the rewrites and all the stuff, like this was originally going to be rated R, and then they had a bunch of different people sign on with it and then jump off of it. Like Jim Carrey was attached to it at one point. Like it went through 10 years of rewrites and redo and this, that, and the other. And I think, given those conditions of everything, I actually think it turned out pretty good. Um, I have a lot of respect for Matthew Lillard as well. He's the only one of the main actors to defend the movie. Um, and, like, what a bold thing to do when literally all of your co stars are like, I can't believe they forced me to do that. The girl who plays Daphne in Buffy the Vampire Slayer literally said, "This is the only movie I will never let my own children watch." Like, despises it. Why she went on to do a second movie along with the rest, I have no idea. Because it's like, if you really hated the role and the outcome of this movie so bad, why did you agree to do a second one? I have no idea. Fred is the most outspoken person against this movie. I think that's crazy. I think, you've got a pretty solid Scooby Doo mystery thing. And like the director, writer, producer person is like, the only thing I regret about this movie is making Scrappy the actual antagonist. Because apparently people like Scrappy. That was literally his quote. He's like, I had no idea people liked Scrappy. Because he's an annoying character. And I agree. Scrappy is really irritating. I've never liked Scrappy, so it didn't bother me as a kid when he was the actual antagonist. Doesn't bother me now. My only knock against the show is that it is real monsters, and Scooby Doo doesn't usually do that. Now, is this the best live action Scooby Doo thing? No, if you count the Supernatural Scooby Doo episode. Even though it's not live action Scooby Doo, there's live action in it. If so, that's the best one by far, clear and away. If not, I think this is the next best one. Okay, Conlon, you've been making all sorts of faces and everything. Limit it just to the first one. What did you think of Monsters Unleashed?
I obviously strongly disagree with you guys. I didn't think this movie was very good at all. I know that I've seen this movie. I know I've seen the second movie. I remembered some things from the second one. I remembered absolutely nothing from this movie, so it might as well have been new to me. First, the good. Matthew Lillard is insanely good as Shaggy. Like, insanely good. I get the whole him wanting Mortal Kombat Shaggy thing. Like, he deserves all the hype because he did a great job. For real, full stop, great. Freddie Prinze Jr. as Fred, I hate the Fred is dumb thing. I don't like it. And to me, this has a little bit of the Fred is dumb thing. And I think it's probably where the Fred is dumb thing probably starts from. Because I can't see it in the animation before I see it in this. I don't like that. I strongly kind of hate that, actually. Velma is well done. I think Daphne is super whiny in this movie, and she's actually annoying. She's too whiny. I don't like it. The overall 2000s-y feel of the movie, I can see why it would work for some people. It's very 2000. It is 2000s for me, and I didn't enjoy it very much. The CGI is terrible. The farting is awful. Like, it is cringy as hell. Awful scene. Terrible. Scrappy is like, oh, Scrappy shows up for a second. I think Scrappy might be the villain for this movie. And I'm cool with the idea of Scrappy being the villain because Scrappy is annoying. And I'm like, I get where you came with that. But how they actually fulfilled the promise of Scrappy being the villain was bad. Scooby is supposed to be about these mysteries, and yes, the mysteries are usually pretty simple, but you still have some kind of mystery. This one, it felt like, well, it's scrappy, and we're just going along with the story, and I don't really care about the story. And Daphne and Fred are both really not very enjoyable in this movie, so I'm left with something I just don't really like. And then you have Scrappy being the big baddie at the very end, and it's just dumb. And the CGI is terrible. Like, it's awful. And they can't tip over a bull? Tip over the freaking bull, you dumbass people. And they pull out a guy, and they're like, I'm just going to stick you back in there because it's supposed to be funny, little kitty. But I was like, you would just let the guy go. You would just throw him away. Be like, oh, you're the wrong one. Oh, you're the wrong one. That would have been a better scene than I'm going to stick you back in there because that was just stupid. We'll get to the second one more. I like the second one way better than this one, but this movie was not good, and I will never, ever watch it again. Ever.
Alright, so what would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
A 3.6.
Okay.
I did not think this was
Alright.
good.
I agree with you on every single point of those. I just found it enjoyable regardless of those
Same.
Fair enough.
things.
I
Yeah, the farting scene is terrible.
It's so bad.
Yes, it is absolutely ridiculous that they come up with this convoluted plan when they could just tip over the bowl. And it's even worse when you see it later when the bowl is actually on hinges.
Yes. Oh my glory.
Like when it does pull out, you're like, you literally could have just like pushed it over. What are you guys doing? I found a lot of charm in it, but Daphne is absolutely irritating. Velma's done pretty well. There are aspects of Fred that I think are done well, and there are aspects that aren't done well. I think they focus too much of it on him being leader guy and not the guy who designs the traps, because that's an engineering mind. He definitely does not have an engineering mind. But it's got Scooby Doo hijinks and silliness, and like, I'm a big Scooby Doo fan. Like, I put all of the Scooby Doo movies on Plex because I love them, and I will watch them. Like, even now, like, and this, yeah, it's not the best one. There are dozens of Scooby Doo shows and movies better than this. But this was a live action adaptation that they took a shot with. It went through a ton of work. Do I wish they would have kept the original antagonist in that ghost and made it actually look good? Yeah, probably. Am I glad they didn't go with the rated R version and made Velma lesbian and Shaggy an actual hippie and high all the time? Also, yes. Like,
Me too.
they were really trying to struggle to keep it kid friendly with the original version, and this is what you got, and I really don't think it's that bad. And you could still just enjoy it.
I
regardless of
tried,
problems.
man. I tried. And I was even like, what's her name? Eliza Fisher. Holy shit, she is so hot. She is so hot. She's my favorite part of this movie. And
Which one is
I
that?
was... She's the girlfriend of Shaggy, the girl he's for.
Oh, okay.
She
Yeah,
is freaking gorgeous. Anyway, I was like, the Mr. Bean guy. I usually like him. I really am rooting for you, Shaggy. I like you. You're my favorite part of the movie. Let's go. But there's just so many things in this movie that are bad, and I can't do it. Nope.
Like I said, I agree with you. Everything that you're saying is bad. Is bad. You're absolutely right. But it's bad that I can accept, and it's not like out of the box from Scooby Doo. It's not like it's foreign Scooby Doo content. Like, you get this kind of stuff in so many Scooby Doos.
Yeah, it's just live action is worse, and then you have like the curse that makes you into a bro or whatever, and that's cringy as hell. This is just a this is a cringy. We can move on to number 2 because I don't like this movie. I don't like it.
Okay, Conlon, get us started. Number 2.
Okay, number 2 is way better than number 1. Way better. I don't think like Freddy's as big as a dumbass in this one. All the characters, all the actors felt like they were more into their character, except for Matthew Lillard because he's just great. He just did a great job. The CGI is not as cringy. The story's more interesting. I like the end boss better. It feels more like normal Scooby Doo, whereas the first one feels like they're trying too hard, and it comes off as super cringy over and over and over again. This one doesn't feel cringy to me. And yes, you still have some farting scenes, but they're shorter and they're used more. They're adapted better. They're used more. The intention behind it is better. Like the farting and getting rid of the Black Knight thing. Like that's a really short, condensed scene that would work for kids and doesn't make you feel like, what the hell am I watching? So I like the acting better. I like the story better. I think the idea of all of these past haunts that you've seen inside of the cartoon coming to life is a cool idea. I really like the mask reveal where you pull off the one mask and then you pull off a second one. It was very much connected to the animated show. I thought that was a cool aspect. You don't have Scrappy Doo in it, and that's a huge plus. That's like a massive plus. No Scrappy Doo. Matthew Lillard's doing a good job. In every single way, I think number 2 is a better movie. And if I would go on my sequels that are better than the original to the point where you don't even really want to watch the original, like Terminator 2, you have Scooby Doo 2, because it is that much better than that first movie.
All right, so what would you rate the second one on a scale of 1 to 10?
Second one is it almost inflates the movie with how much better the second one is. Do I want to watch this one again? I will not watch this one again by myself, but I would show this to my kids when I have them. 6.5, maybe, right around there. 7, maybe.
Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. So I would describe the second one as uninspired and absolutely boring.
Wow.
This one felt like, okay, the reaction to the first one was bad. Let's take 0 chances. Let's be absolutely generic. Let's not do anything interesting whatsoever. Let's stick with bad CGI and add a lot more to it to the screen. And yeah, I was just utterly, completely bored through the second one. I felt like they did absolutely nothing to warrant its existence. Like, to me, the second one is so far and away worse because they did nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's like, okay, wild. This is the Hallmark version of Scooby-Doo. Here we go. Okay, it's done. Thank goodness it's over.
Wow. We have some different opinions, Josh. We are very far different on these 2 movies. Very far different.
Yep. That's why I'm very excited to ask the question to see who is right and who is wrong in this. Lauren?
I'm in the middle.
What'd you think of the second one?
Comparatively to the first one, I like the first one more. But I wasn't bored in the second one. There's some really funny bits that I really liked. Like, I love the Bon Jovi getting popped up when he's jousting on the motorcycle. I like when they ring the doorbell and they get like stuck with the Girl Scouts and like somebody that you can see was a missionary. And then but like, as far as like, I probably wouldn't watch the second one again, where I would rewatch the first one. just because they're like, I didn't like the Daphne date when she like gets all in the latex or whatever in the
Yeah, the Velma date. You want to talk about
that
That was
cringeworthy?
was
cringy. I'll
that
admit that
one.
was cringy. That
Yeah.
was cringy.
It was my outfit. What an uninspired line.
It was
That's your
cringy.
punchline. That was my outfit.
It was cringy.
But I do like how I was sold that I thought it was the her love interest the entire time. I was like, oh, it's gotta be him. It's
Yes.
gotta be him. But then
There
it
was an
wasn't.
actual mystery.
Yeah. I did
Like,
like
come on.
that aspect of the second one, but in between the two, I go the first. So that's where I say I feel like I'm in the middle of you two with the feelings of this movie. Um, I don't hate that I watched it, but probably won't watch it again. Um, yeah,
So, what would you rate the second one on a scale of 1 to 10?
6.5.
Okay.
Yeah,
See,
fair.
I would give it a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
It's just mediocre, uninspired. Like, there's cringiness to it. There's some good stuff in it too. But I would never rewatch this one again. I think there's a reason that I remembered the first one and didn't. Like, I had the experience you had with the first one, where it might as well have been a brand new watch because I remembered nothing from it, and I just really did not enjoy my time
Mm.
with it.
All right. This ended up being better than I expected. That
We were
was
so
great.
divided.
We're so divided. I was not expecting that. I thought you guys would like the first one better than I did because you would. I thought you guys would like the first one a little bit more than me because of nostalgia, where I don't remember it, so no real nostalgia there. I didn't think it would be this big of a gap, like
it
at
was
all.
it was my one and only Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Well,
Have you watched other Scooby Doo since?
Yeah, I watched one series on Netflix, but that wasn't like the iconic Scooby Doo. But now that I know that I have access to Scooby Doo, I'm gonna be watching that. I always, I think so.
I don't.
Um, mm. Yeah, I enjoyed it, but I knew it wasn't like original Scooby Doo. And so I always wanted to watch Scooby Doo when I was a kid. And for some reason, my mom just, I don't know if it annoyed her or something, but anything that she didn't, um, that she thought would cost money or like she was annoyed by, she would just say was of the devil. She didn't really think it was of the devil, but it was
That's what
just
my
a.
mom did with SpongeBob.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh cards were definitely of the devil, and so were Pokemon cards. So, because my mom didn't want to buy the packs. So,
Yeah, I highly recommend watching more Scooby Doo. I think they absolutely hold up. They're absolutely fantastic. If you want some of the older shows, just let me know. Um, yeah, with Mystery Incorporated, I think it definitely got better as it went on. It just really bothered me at the beginning that they were trying to force this like Velma Shaggy romance.
mm,
I was like, they don't need to be in a romance because there is a single guy and a single girl. You can just have friendships and have it be good. Scooby Doo has literally been doing it for 40 years. And at the beginning of the show, it was like so hyper focused on that. It really bothered me. But when they
mm.
eased off of it, I actually did start to enjoy that show a little bit. But Yeah.
and I'm and I'm not in hell. The devil didn't get me.
All right. With that, let us know what animated movies you guys think we should take on next. What things from your childhood? What really impactful thing? What positive thing? Um, just make some recommendations. Would love to see them. You guys have a great day. Remember, be better today than yesterday.